stay at home, but if you need groceries, gas, or drugs, you basically have all day to go out. And alcohol and tools until 8 p.m. And if you meet anyone, just make sure it's a maximum of 5. But otherwise, stay at home. And if you don't follow the rules, you might go to jail. So, Habibis, lots of confusion, but that's normal and expected when the government is trying its best to avoid treating you like a baby. Although my being a lawyer is actually not that relevant because they haven't posted any official guidelines yet, I'm going to do my best to clear out the confusion just from a common sense perspective. For those of you too busy staying at home, there are timestamps in the description. Just take a look at them and let's get started. From December 26, 2020, do you guys remember that year? Anyway, we were on a province-wide lockdown, and if that comes as a shock to you, it's probably because there was no reception in the Bahamas. I don't really blame you. That waters is just Started from tonight on Thursday at 12, well, technically tomorrow, 12:01 a.m. These are going to be implemented for 28 days and they could be extended. For the most part, they are very similar to what we had in the beginning of 2020. So what's changing from the lockdown? One, retail hours are getting shortened. So non-essential workers are going to have to close their shops from 8 p.m. until 7 a.m. the next morning. And you might be wondering, what's non-essential retail? Great question. Basically, any place that's not a pharmacy, a gas station, place that's primarily selling food, and convenience stores or restaurants for takeout and delivery. And no, you can't all of a sudden start selling oranges next to that fancy PS5 of yours. And yes, it actually includes the LCBO and hardware stores now for all of you planning priorities. Second thing that's changing is that non-essential workers have to work from home. So basically anyone who doesn't fall within the category that I just described is going to be required to stay at home or could face fines. The third thing is outside organized gatherings. Now these are really confusing because obviously if they're telling us to stay at home but then also giving us the opportunity to meet maximum of 5 people outside, it gets a little bit confusing. But common sense basically dictates that if you're about to lose your mind, then meeting family for a short period of time in a safe environment is going to keep that head screwed on. Then in that case, you can meet up to maximum of 5 people, but be responsible. Common sense, try not to do anything stupid. You guys know the drill by now. For schools, you guys are in luck. You're still staying at home, at least until February 10th. Do you know what I would have done to stay at home? Man, I was literally skipping school when I was required to go. But that wasn't in Canada, guys, so don't worry about me. Anyway, okay, here's what's not changing. There's no curfew, guys, which means that if you leave your house, nobody's going to be chasing you down the street. Unless they stop you on the street just for a chat, of course, in which case you might be allowed to leave if you want to. Not legal advice. But of course, you are possibly going to face fines if you violate the order, so just try to be responsible. Second thing that's not changing is wearing a mask. It's still not mandatory unless you're inside a public business, but otherwise it's just now recommended to wear a mask outside if you can't socially distance by 2 meters, which by the way is practically everywhere. You can't convince me that there's any place you can go to walking that you can guarantee you can physically distance by 2 meters from anybody. You know these people that come like really close to you all the time? Yeah, no, you can't. So just wear a mask. Frequently asked questions. Fines are basically the same, but the enforcement measures are probably going to increase. Now OPP and the law enforcement and bylaw officers have more powers to ticket you if you're seen violating any of these rules. And as it stands, the tickets basically range from $750 up to $1,000, but you could also face up to a year in jail, and the Solicitor General seems very, very serious about that. I don't know how they would enforce that, but that's a topic for a separate question. 2, single family households. So they haven't talked about yesterday. I haven't been able to find anything on it as of the time of this publishing, but it seems that if that's the case, then if you're from a single family household, you could visit another one, obviously as long as you follow these guidelines. Okay, so that's all I got from the rules perspective. If there's any update, I'll post it on my Twitter. Otherwise, I'll make another video about it. And for now, it's just common sense rules, guys. Like, nothing is really significantly changing. And yeah, let's change the scenery and I'll take you outside to talk to you about the personal note. So all of you guys who are not interested in me, you can leave now. So what the hell's up with that? I've been telling you to stay home and then I went for a walk. And that's because I want to make a point. They're not trying to tell you to stay at home indefinitely. They're saying you're allowed to go for a walk. You're allowed to go for exercise. You're allowed to go walk your dog. You're allowed to do things that you would think with common sense that you would be allowed to do, obviously. And here's my message from the heart, okay? I'm bleeding money between paying my law school loans and paying for my mortgage and my place that I've been trying to rent out for 4 months with no luck, with and without realtors, trying to hustle at 2 different fronts and literally living in the negative paycheck by paycheck. Like, I'm so tired of this, okay? And a part of my job literally requires me to go outside and film and like get footage from outdoors and get some B-roll and all that kind of stuff. And now I can't really do that as freely as I did before. And despite all of this, I'm going to do my best to listen to the government's guidelines. You know why? Because for my little sob story here, there are thousands of mothers who are working 3 jobs trying to get food on the table for their kids. Thousands of fathers who are wondering if they're going to make rent next month. Thousands of sons and daughters and other people in the family that are wondering if their mothers or fathers are going to make it out of COVID alive. And on top top of that, there are thousands and thousands and thousands of essential workers who are doing their best to make sure that the supply chain doesn't break, that you get your Amazon package on time, or that you get your appointment at the hospital, or at your doctor's office, or that you get vegetables on the table. You know why I'm going to listen? I'm listening because I want this over with faster. And it doesn't take that much effort to realize that listening to the guidelines is not going to risk anything on your part on a personal level. The alternative risks everything. And if you think that staying at home is risking a lot, then you're so goddamn privileged and you have no idea about it. You live in Canada, a dream for so many around the world, and you're upset about staying indoors for a little bit longer just so that we can all get this over with. That is a privilege. Do you know the amount of things that people would do to be able to make it and stay at home here? You're risking nothing. We're in a real crisis, and I had no idea until I looked at the numbers. Like, every projection is doubling now. In December, they were projecting that by now, or February, we're going to have 50 people dying a day. That projection is now double. That's freaking crazy. People you might know. Your classroom, your high school classroom had a quarter of that number, and there's 4 times that number that are going to be dying every day. That's insane. That's a lot. Very soon, doctors are going to have to start making decisions that nobody wants to hear. They're going to literally have to choose who goes on oxygen and who doesn't. They're going to tell you, no, you have to stay at home because someone else might survive. And listen to this, that I've lived through it. And the reason I say this is because it's the worst thing that I've ever lived through. And for context, I've lived through the 2011 and 2012 Egyptian revolution. If you don't know what that looks like, go take a look, okay? I've lived through that. And I'm telling you that living through a revolution is not as hard as going through COVID, because there's nothing that's worse than not being able to breathe. I'll end this video with a huge thank you to everybody who has been doing their absolute best, and a huge thank you to everyone in the supply chain who's keeping this boat afloat. That's it for today, Habibis. I'm going to update this video as soon as I can. Until then, it's one life, live it right, and shop local. I'll see you tomorrow. Peace. Still can't do stickers.